아스날을 상대로 손흥민이 분전했지만 결국 충격적인 홈경기 3연패로 답이 없는 토트넘인데요. BBC에서도 이런 토트넘을 강등권 수준이라면서 팩트로 두들겨 패는 선수 출신 전문가들의 발언이 화제를 모으고 있습니다. 공격과 수비 모든 방향에서 토트넘의 잘못된 점에 대해 들어보시겠습니다.
Given it was a North London derby in particular, that was a very sort of controlled, calm, drama-free performance, wasn't it, from Arsenal?
Do you know what? Timber sort of hit the nail on the head there. He said how well Tottenham actually started. But like Arsenal, yeah, it was a London derby, but it was very calm, like you just say, particularly towards the end of the game. Didn't really have that sort of feel especially when you're chasing the game in the Tottenham side of it. And Arsenal, again, with numbers missing today, they found it actually in the end very comfortable, and Tottenham played into their hands actually to some extent.
Well, as Theo's mentioned, and as Julian Timber said, it could have been very different in that first 15 minutes because Tottenham were on top.
Yeah, they were. They started really well. You know, they was winning the ball high up the pitch. And I just think after 20 minutes, Arsenal sort of said, you know, is this all you've got? And yeah, they just look incredible defending. They look like they enjoy defending, enjoy getting first on the crosses. And yeah, I think Spurs, I wouldn't say they was unlucky, but I think Arsenal definitely deserve the win.
You'd have wanted them to have taken one to set an early marker. You'd have wanted them to have taken one of these early chances.
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
100%. Especially when you're playing against an Arsenal team that, you know, I think the goalkeeper won the Golden Glove last season. Gabriel and Saliba just look incredible together. You see there the blocks. As I said, they look like they really do enjoy defending, and Spurs had to capitalise on the first 15-20 minutes on how they played.
And that was it there, where I just felt like Tottenham had a very good start, and to make Arsenal make mistakes. And Solanke there maybe could have let the ball come across him to allow the shot on. But again, Bentancur was starting to press. And Doggio, I felt, was an absolute solid athlete throughout the whole game. Actually kept Saka quite quiet for most of the game. But the way Tottenham started, particularly in the derby, is where you need to capitalise on that start. And they just didn't manage to do it in the end. And Arsenal really did. Actually, those first 20 minutes, which is always a difficult part of the game, they got through it, and that's what they had to do.
Well, which brings us to the what feels like an age-old discussion now with these two, which is one of them is very good at set pieces, and the other one gives the impression of struggling at set pieces. And to highlight it, you're going to go back to this game from last season.
Yeah, so you know we had a little look at Arsenal last year and the work rate that they do in set pieces, and it's clearly, you can see here, last year Tottenham had 9 players in the 6-yard box and Arsenal have 6. And the great thing about this setup is they're coming from behind the Tottenham sort of back line, and this is where Højbjerg actually scores his own goal, which causes a disruption. But again, it's just a different angle here, which just shows the zone players. But this is what the part of it where you have people like Kulusevski and Maddison picking up players, and White as well being a nuisance and doing his little tricks around the goalkeeper, and again, just putting pressure on the defence. And when you have players that are coming from behind the Tottenham, they have no idea there's people running into each other, and you're going to see it very clearly in the next sort of clip now. Again, Vicario is literally on the line. He needs to be a lot stronger here, but this is what I was trying to say here. Again,
Plenty
Arsenal,
of numbers.
Yeah, Arsenal, again, have just what's happened last year. They feel like they can do exactly the same thing, but the difference here is, again, Vicario is in the 6-yard box. He needs to be stronger. But what the most important thing about this is Havertz and Kulusevski, the disruption it causes in Davis, where we're asking players to be aware of their surroundings. And this is where Davis, being in that zonal sort of stage here, he doesn't have a clue where any of the Arsenal players are coming from, which causes the confusion with Kulusevski, goes in the back of Davis, which then creates the space for Havertz to come in, you know, in front of Bentancur, who can't react in time to get his goal. And again, Vicario is literally still on the line where you need to be strong as a goalkeeper there.
And so today, it's a little bit different, yes?
I think so. I think Spurs tried to, you know, free up some space for Vicario. But again, as Theo said, when players are running from behind, it's difficult for you to see where they're coming from. And I said to Theo earlier that Gabriel should never be able to see the number on Romero's back, and he does, and they score from it.
And here again, you got Martinelli, who's going to be occupying Kulusevski, who has 2 players. You can't quite see him here, but again, I'm asking someone like Undogi, who needs to be stronger. Again, Vicario, who again has been sort of isolated on that back line, but they do the blocks, they work on it, and every day, that's the difference, I'd say, now in the set pieces.
He ends up, Vicario, doesn't he, in virtually a similar position to last season. And then really the difference on the set pieces, the three relegated sides last year, Luton and Sheffield United, two of the three relegated sides conceded more than Spurs, and then Arsenal. But you say, just on working on set pieces, this is now a daily thing. Forget the debate on set-piece coaches. This is something that a lot of teams are doing every single day.
And this is the different generation. I remember myself, Danny can probably relate as well, where set pieces would be and that's the side of it now where it's repetition, which is really crucial. But like, again, we're looking at this setup here, the fact that the low block here, where Arsenal have created, the 1-0 now, this 5-3-2, to allow the space to go out wide because they know how strong they are dealing with the balls, that's been created from wide. And Maddison, who, again, had a quiet game, but trying to make things work, and it comes out to him eventually where, he picks the ball out quite deep. But again, they only have two players to attack, and Timber and Odegaard, Solanke's dealt with because obviously Saliba and Gabriel are touch tight with their man. And it's a poor cross to the end, but look, the intent there was the right thing. Again, we're asking this new generation of wingers to come back in and to be, to do the job. And Sterling's new to it, but he knows the role very well. And Danny, like you say, this is one thing where Arsenal, I feel very strong right now with this ball's in the box here.
Yeah, for me, it's sort of shown that how much Spurs were clutching at ideas towards the end of the game because Arsenal were so comfortable, facing the ball in front of them. And as you said, Spurs are crossing the ball there from deep, and really they've only got Solanke to hit. And it's always going to be a difficult ask playing against Gabriel and Saliba.
And
한편 코치 보이스에서는 토트넘의 공격에 대해 이렇게 평했는데요. 좁은 아스날 미드필드 지역에서 손흥민과 존슨을 통해 폭을 유지했고 풀백이 약간 안쪽에서 지원했지만 아스날 선수들이 압박할 때 열리는 공간으로 다가가는 데 실패했고 폼이 내려간 메디슨은 너무 아래로 내려가게 됩니다. 게다가 아스날 블록이 촘촘해져서 더 내려가게 되고 이게 역습 수비에는 도움이 되었지만 공격 전개가 제대로 되지 않았죠. 결국 오른쪽에 존슨, 포로, 쿨루셉을 투입해 팀버를 상대로 공간을 만들었지만 창의적인 패스가 부족해 큰 위협을 주지 못했죠. 그나마 아스날이 수비지역 빌드업에서 실수할 때 위협적인 기회를 만드는 데 그쳤습니다. 후반전 아스날 득점 이후 블록이 촘촘해지면서 손흥민에게 공간이 전혀 생기지 않았고 베르너와 오도베르를 투입해도 큰 변화가 없었죠. 결국 전술, 선수 퀄리티 모두 완패한 오늘 경기였습니다. 다음 경기인 브렌트포드를 상대로 잘해낼 수 있을지 연패로 빠질지 우려되는 상황에서 영상 마칩니다.